In this episode, we're going to discuss the 5 main reasons your partner puts you down.
No question, no lies, I'm a boss bitch. And I got, I'm a grind till my heart quits. Is she hungry for the money? Is she's all in? Is she no slave? And she gonna win. Take bands to the side, ain't no losses. Stack bands, no ties, except for my kid. Only thing that's on her mind is to be rich. And she no slave, and she gonna win. No sleep, no sleep, no sleep. No sleep, no sleep, no sleep. Yeah, she hungry for the money, and she's all in. Cause she no slave.
And for those of you who know, I am still offering my prints, okay? These are prints from my 14-piece collection as well. This is on poster board. Foam board is what it is, okay? So it's very thin, but on the back I use a metallic pen to kind of like specialize and engrave it for you, and I give you my signature and a little note to thank you for supporting my art. This is, I think, 11 by 16 or 11 by 14. So this is the biggest I'm comfortable shipping right now. But I also do the what is this? Cardstock. Jesus, I can't get my words together right. This is cardstock. So if you don't do the foam board, you'll get this in cardstock. And I think this is an 8 by 11. All right, so I have these available as well if you would like to support your girl. So once again, these are available on my website. Go to www.phoenixnovell.com and place your order today, okay? All right, guys, again, this video is about 5 main reasons your partner puts you down. I'm looking at my notes, so forgive me if you think I'm not paying attention to you, because I really am, okay? All right, number 1, they can't forgive you for something, so it comes out in subtle ways. All right, you need to assess yourself. You need to understand at all times what you say, what you do, and the response that your partner gives to you. All right, be accountable for your actions. Be aware of their emotions to your actions, because the more aware you are, the more you watch their body language, the more in tune you are with them, the more you know how they feel without them actually saying anything about how they feel. Some people hold it inside. Some people don't want to seem like they are too emotional, or don't want to seem like they're too sensitive, so they won't say anything. But I don't think that not anybody that I met anyway, has the ability to completely just let go of the slights that come upon them or that they feel. They may not choose to bring it up or say anything, but they'll find subtle ways to slip out. And you might not know where that came from, or be like, dang, I thought we were good, but they say something or do something and make you think, I didn't deserve that, or what did I do? So if you are aware of the things that you do, if you're aware of what your intentions are and what you say to your partner, and if you're playing mind games, or if you're being insensitive, or listening to, if they say I don't like this and you keep doing it because it doesn't bother you that you do it or whatever, then they might take subconsciously it might come out, or they'll say things or do things that make you feel like, I don't deserve that. But if you are aware of what you put out, it'll be more easier for you to draw to connect the dots when it comes back, or it seems like they're saying something random or doing something random that you don't really understand. Okay, so again, they can't forgive you for something so it comes out in subtle ways. So that might be one of the reasons why they put you down, right? And it doesn't seem like you did anything to deserve that. Number 2, they're an asshole. Some people are just assholes, and they play mind games, or they do things to make you feel like you need them, or that they're better than you. Either way, their intention is completely self-focused and self-centered, and they don't really care about anybody but what makes them feel good. I don't care about your feelings in this. I care about me more than I care about you. Or stop being such a baby. This doesn't bother me, so why should it bother you? Or whatever. This is their mindset I'm thinking of, okay? And you don't have to try to rationalize it, or you don't have to make it about you. Some people are just assholes. and this worked on the last relationship that they were in, and they're going to use that same tactic because it worked before. But your job in this situation is to assess whether or not you want to stay here, because nobody deserves to be treated like that from somebody who just is an asshole. Like, again, piggybacking off of number one, if you're aware of what you put out and your intentions, and you're somebody who's like actually trying to build your partner up versus trying to make them see you as, or revere you as more important in the relationship versus them, or whatever your power game might be. If you're somebody who's actually trying to grow with this person, then you know that it's not about you. You know that them being an asshole isn't about something that you did. So you don't need to scour or excavate the relationship to see where you went wrong, because you didn't. Your only job is to get out, all right? To bring it to the surface. And if they don't seem to now kind of like become aware of themselves and what they need to work on, and in turn treat you differently, then the door is the only exit, okay? So that's number two. They're just an asshole. Not your issue, not because of you. Number three, they want to gain security in the relationship. The more they make you feel like you're not that great, the easier it is for them to control the relationship dynamic. It's a power play. It's a power play. And again, it could be because of something that you did in the past that they feel like they need to get some leverage to make you feel like they're more valuable than you make them feel, right? Or they're just insecure. And that insecurity, instead of them saying that or being vulnerable or, feeling, just dealing with that within themselves and trying to find ways to come to show up in the relationship more secure, which can be done without saying it to your partner, they choose to bring you down to their level, which in the long run, get out, because there's no way forward for you when somebody decides to bring you down to their level versus meet you at yours, if you're trying to actually grow and build something. See the writing on the wall. Don't ignore it. Pay attention. And again, piggybacking off of one and two, if they're being an asshole and they're not willing to be accountable and do their part in showing up to the relationship as a match versus trying to bring you down to their level, and if you didn't do something in the past that might have made them feel like they need to gain vengeance, or they need to, rebalance the dynamic by getting you back, then again, don't play these games with them. Don't even engage, because you can't win. You can't win if they're not actually trying to grow and build with you so that both of you are on the same level. If they need to be here and they want you to be here, that's not the right relationship for you. So leave. With love, right? You ain't got to be like, you don't need to even do all of that, right? Because they'll notice your presence. They'll notice that when you're gone, they had a good thing. They won't always say that to you. They won't always make it obvious, but at the end of the day, and the more time you waste in a relationship that's not going anywhere, the more time you can't get back, and the more time you need to heal for the next person. All right. I think it's number 4? They want you to be the one to leave. They're weak. They know that the relationship isn't what they want, but they don't want to be alone. So if they make it uninhabitable for you, then chances are you'll bail eventually. Sadly, this is also a tactic. We don't want to hear this when we're happy. We don't want to hear this when we've decided that this is somebody that we want to make things work with. But sometimes you got to be okay with what their actions reveal about how they truly feel. Even if their mouth is saying, I want to be with you. Even if their words are saying, I love you and you make me happy and this is where I want to be. If they're not treating you that way, if they're putting you down, if they're not investing in you, if you don't feel like you're important to this person, it could be because or if they're doing things that are pushing you away steadily without saying it, if their words are not matching their actions, and their actions are basically just screaming at you like, I don't like you, get out of here. Listen to their actions. Suck it up, take the L, deal with life, walk away, so that your healing can begin. And Bawse Bitch is all about healing. It's not afraid of healing, because in healing, you gain your power back. We all want our power. But if you just listen to what a person says and it makes you feel good because you want this and they don't, you're going to lose anyway. So I'm making this video to try to save you from wasting unnecessary time. Just pull out of the race, because you'll never really get to where you want to go, even if he's yelling with his words that you're the number one cheerleader, you're it, keep on going, keep on fighting for me, I'm weak, or I'm not perfect, stick with me, don't leave me, all of that word shit, all of it. Because what I learned a long time ago is that people know what they want. Your job isn't to show up in such a way that pulls out of them, the desire to want you. They see you, they want you, they chase. You ain't got to do nothing but be who you are. And the right person is going to magnetically be attracted to you. And that's what you want. But I've been that person who wanted to change myself up and be so malleable because I wanted that person as they were. You want somebody who wants you as you are, right? And guess what? It might not be the one you want. Or it might be the one that you really want, but because you're so focused on this other person and what they look like or what they have, you can't even see that that's what you need and that's what you want and that they want you too. So get out of the energy that's pulling you this way, that isn't feeding you, because you need to be fed. And if you're not fed, basically like in this scenario, because they don't want to feed you, they're starving you with their actions. But sprinkling hope, it's like icing, sprinkling hope and beautiful, pretty things on you with their words. There's no substance. Your stomach is still empty and you're craving that satiation that comes with real love and real support. But you see all this glitter. I'm laughing about it, but it's not funny, because some of y'all out there who watching this are dealing with that right now. You get all the glitter, all the surface, all the affection, all the touching, all the kissing, all the cuddling. But there's nothing really beyond the surface. There's nothing connecting you to that person besides the physical intimacy that you have. And then when that's gone, it's just like, what's happening right now? You feel cold and left out. The faster you face that reality, the better you'll be. All right. And the final one, you're being too nice or too good to them. All right. This is with a lot of us suffer with this. You find a good partner, a good person after you've been duped, after you dealt with some selfish mofos, after you dealt with people putting you down, and you don't know how to act. You don't know how to act. So you finally feel like you can take your mask off and you can show them who exactly you are. And you might really be a good person, but because you're not used to people treating you so well, you start to look down on them. That's the problem sometimes. Maybe they're just too nice of a person, or they love you so much or like you so much that they don't understand that they also need to create room for you to reciprocate. We can do this to each other. We can smother each other with our intentions, and we can smother each other with our love that we think that they deserve because they're talking about how they didn't get it in the past. Your job is to not do that. Your job is to make me feel like this is a relationship that is mutually beneficial. It's not to try to heal me from past trauma, because time will do that, and your love and showing up as you are, genuinely loving me, will help me through that process. It's gonna happen. But we get so excited and we feel bad. We're human. A lot of us are empathetic, and we're just like, oh my God, I can't stand what that ex did to him or her. Oh my God, if I were. Problem is, now they're doing it to us. Not because they're assholes per se, but because they're like a kid. You spoil them too much, they don't know how to act. They forget who's the parent and who's the child. And my advice to you is you have to create that space of, hey, I need love too. Hey, I'm somebody too. Don't do to me what was done to you, because then I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do to find affection and real love. And so don't miss out on something good because, you know, you're acting a fool, or sometimes they act a fool. All right, so if you're the one who's giving too much, or being too kind, or being too nice, or being too malleable, or being too agreeable, every now and again, go against the grain. Even though you think they might not like you as much, they will. They will like you as much because they see boundaries. We like boundaries. Boundaries help us grow. It helps us learn how to walk on our own. If I know that there's a wall there, I have to learn how to crawl over it if I want to actually get to the other side. But if it's just open landscape, I don't have to move. I can just see it with my eyes. Right? So give a person a chance to learn you, or you can actually, if you create a boundary, you can see how much they're willing to get to know you and willing to learn you. And the ones who actually step back and say, oh, damn, I was so selfish of me. Let me figure out what my person likes. Because you created space for them to realize that you need love too. And if they're really in that relationship, they'll get it. You don't need to do much for them to get it. You don't need to run away or break up with them every week for them to be like, hey, I'm kind of selfish. No, you don't. Not for the right person. The right person will get it because they'll feel the imbalance. The right person will feel the imbalance. And if they don't, they're not the right person. All right? As much as we like a person to show us love and affection, that shit can also make you want to throw up if it's left unchecked. I wrote that down. Too much of anything is not a good thing, right? Too little of anything is horrible too, because it leaves you feeling resentful, but too much of something can also make you sick. So think about it from that perspective. The more you give them, you don't create room for them to actually feel like they have to work for something. Not saying play games. All right, so don't misinterpret when I say work for something to mean that you got to be like, now jump this hurdle and flip over here and jump from this one and now do it with a smile on your face. I'm not saying that, because anybody in their right mind even just gonna be like, I'm out. I'm saying just be aware of how much you're giving and be aware of what they're giving as well, because whether you like it or not, all of us usually get to a point where we're giving too much in any relationship where we feel taken advantage of or taken for granted. So I'm just saying, the more aware you are of not giving too much and creating a space for the other person to reciprocate, the better the relationship will be, because we all want to feel like we're contributing in this relationship. And if it's one-sided, run. If you ain't getting nothing in return, run. If you're not giving anything in return, you're horrible and you need to get your shit together. All right. So once again, this is Bawse Bitch Tips, and thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. If you have topic ideas, if you have comments, you can always leave them below. You can always leave them on my website on the comment page, because I think I have a contact me page or a comment page where you can always say what you feel, but you can also send your comments or show ideas to asktheboss@gmail.com. I'd love to make videos that you guys wanna actually check out, because I want this to be a mutually beneficial relationship. All right, asktheboss, ASKTHEBAWSE @gmail.com. Thanks again, guys.